What's up, guys? This is August Omega. My name is August.
I'm Cody.
And apparently I sound like just a golly, Sarge.
Golly! I sure love Justice League.
Oh, that was a good one. So, he wanted to take over all our shows, so I did a little bit of code breaking, and I am the alpha if he wants to be the omega. I don't know what that's even supposed to mean.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that someday.
Yeah. So what it's supposed to mean is that you're asking us all about our three favorite movies, not the best, but our favorites of 2017. I want to know. Let's go back to the video games. So I want to know what your three favorite video games were to come out of 2017.
Okay, before I start this, I'm gonna say it. I have a theme going on. This was clearly Nintendo Switch's year. This was Nintendo's like comeback year. This
yeah,
is
it was
Nintendo like at their best again, right? Anyways, number 3, and this is actually my like top 3 order right now. Mario's vs. Rabbids, right?
Yeah.
Was not expecting this game to be good. It had no right to be good. Like, you told me...
It was just supposed to be a little crossover, you know?
You told me... Well, number 1, like, when you heard, like, oh, Ubisoft is working with Nintendo and it's going to be Rayman themed, so you're thinking, oh, it's going to be Rayman.
Yeah.
And it was the Rabbids from that crappy, you know, Wii launch title with some shitty minigames and stuff. And if you would told me 2006, back then, that those Rabbids would be in my top, you know, would be in a game 1 with Mario and be on my top list.
Yeah.
I would have told you go. I don't know what I'd tell you to do, but
go up a tree.
Go up a tree. You're smoking the wrong kind of trees. I would call the cops on you because you probably are smoking the pots.
Yep. All of the pots.
All of the pots. All of them. No, anyways, you know, this is like, it just was so well done, and you know, for a third party to get the look and feel of Mario without actually being a platformer, because Miyamoto said nobody can do Mario jumping, so you guys got it. If you want it, you have to do something different, and they did. They made like a turn-based, grid-based strategy game.
Yeah,
and it's just so much fun once you get the movement down. Like, it seems so simple, but it's also complicated. Like, because you've got things where, like, you can run, hit, then, you still have movement, so you can come back and shoot them again.
Yeah.
Or you can, like, jump on people and then keep jumping on people. Like, once you figure out how to, like, effectively move, the game gets so good.
Right.
And then there's, like, a skill tree of, like, that just changes the game up, and it's fun to experiment because there are different, like, missions you got to do.
Yeah.
And some involve you got to get somewhere really quick. You got to kill a certain amount of numbers enemies really quickly. You got to protect somebody. So like all the characters have like things they're good at.
Yeah.
So you just kind of like switch and build, min-max your teams so that they're best for like certain situations. And there's a lot to collect. On top of like weapons, there's like a bunch of gold missions you got to do, and if you're somebody like me, you got to try to get them all gold.
Yeah.
And some of them get hard, man. Like, it's ridiculous.
That's one thing I always think about when I think about this game is you brought up Miyamoto. Is he said like way back when all games were like trying to modernize to this generation. I think someone asked him in an interview like, how are you going to modernize them? Are you going to make Mario a first person shooter, like jokingly? And he was like, you will never see Mario with a gun.
Well,
and I think back to that, and like now Rabbids come out, and it was actually like a really good game, but like at the same time you're like, so we're just going to ignore the fact that he has like a peanut gun.
And that was kind of like a thing where like they had to make the guns not look like guns.
Yeah.
Because they're more like Mega Man like hand blasters, you know.
Which I can appreciate.
For the most part. Luigi's got a vacuum cleaner. But
like you do.
But, and overall it's a more simplified version of XCOM in every good way. Like, it's not overcomplicated. If you're in cover and it's 100, if the thing is out of cover and it's 100%, you're going to always hit it. There's no 90%, 80%. It's 150 or 0. Yeah. And then you can blow up, like, the terrain and stuff. And it's just...
Nice.
It's just so good. Like, if you have a Switch, this is a must-own. Like, had so much fun with it. So.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. So what would your number 2 be?
Okay. This one, I feel like a lot of people have it, like, are backwards from me. But Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I love what they did with the Zelda. I love, with the Zelda.
With the Zelda.
With
I
the
like
Zelda.
the Zelda.
You kids and your Nintendos. Anyways, no, I like how they like changed the franchise, and like I kind of do miss a little bit of like the story driven and the more traditional dungeons, but at the same time, how open and like how much fun it was exploring Hyrule this time.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
every time you climb up something, you sit in a rainstorm and wait, which was frustrating. But as soon as you get up top there, you see something new. You find a seed, you find a temple.
Yeah.
And just how flexible the systems are in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there are ways they like thought, okay, this is how you're supposed to do it. But there are, you get online, there are hundreds of ways to complete any dungeon. Like,
Yeah.
It's amazing what they did with it. And I just can't wait to see what they do with it. And then, it's got this kind of soft, like, almost watercolor look to it.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just, so unique to it.
Wind Waker was one of my favorite ones. So, like, the color and the slickness of it just really captured my eye.
And I liked, they didn't go with exactly the Wind Waker style of, like, cell shading. That's a tough one to say.
Yeah.
Because like in Wind Waker, the edges are harder, where this is kind of more, it's got softer edges and softer color palette. But just everything about it, when the blood moon comes in and that like little thing just looks so the color
imposing.
Yeah, and then you got like the particle effects floating up and just so good. There's some things that annoyed me about it. Constant sword breaking at the worst times. Trying to climb in rain was a little annoying, and that's kind of why it didn't beat what I imagine you can guess what number one is. But just like being able to cook things and like have status effects and just playing around with things and like figuring out the combat, like. It's one of those games where it's like, get good or you're never getting through this game.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, like, I still cannot fight those stupid, like, lion horse things well. What are they called? Linos? Lino, yeah. Like, they just stomp me in the ground every time. But it's just so much fun, and, like, every time you do die, you're like, that was, you get in these, like, silly ways you die, and you're like, that was funny. But when you do die in battle, you're like, okay, let's try that again. Let's be a little more careful. And you just keep trying new things until they work. And
then you're kind of forced to try other things too, because if you keep trying to take because that's me, I'm a Dark Souls fan, so I just kept going with direct approach. I'm just not killing them because I'm not good enough. But you do that in this game, you're going to run out of equipment and you're going to run out of goods.
Yeah.
Because your shield's going to get busted. You're going to riddle down all your best swords, and you're going to run out of health potions.
Right, and then and it's cool. Like you kind of sneak up on a group of enemies. You see, okay, there's some like explosion barrels. There's some rocks I can knock down. So you just like snipe those off real quick, take off some of the pack, and then you just it's just so well done and thought out, and just how flexible just how flexible the gameplay is.
Right.
Like, just so good.
Right on, man. All right, so number one.
I'm sure you can guess what number one is. Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
I told you I was going with the number one theme, one theme, and it's obviously Nintendo. The Switch, like, this is such, this is like an apology letter about the Wii U. This is like, we're sorry the Wii U was so bad. Here is this just fantastic handheld with like some of the best games we've put out ever. Like, Mario Odyssey reminded me so much of Mario 64 in all the good ways.
Oh, that was the point, yeah.
Like, just exploring things and like just how crisp the movement is, and then like being able to like possess things,
Yeah.
Becoming a T-Rex. Like,
yeah.
It's
like a real life T-Rex too.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, the game is just weird. Like you possess people at some point.
Yeah, the only one that bugged me is on the snow level when you like have to when you have those like bouncing guys.
Yeah.
That like you end up on like a racetrack. And it's like, oh, we got to have all the racers, and there's this one guy that is petrified of racing, and like you trying to figure out how, like, if it was a Zelda game, you have to like talk him into it, give him the inspiration. In this game, you just possess his body and then use him against his will.
And he's like, oh, I guess I won.
Yeah.
There's also another weird moon where the dude's like, hey, I want to see your boxer shorts.
Yeah.
That's just kind of weird, you know?
Mm.
But this game is just weird, but it's a good weird. It's like, it's just that I'm a little kid again, you know? Me and my neighbor she got a Nintendo 64 back in the day, and we put it in there and go through, you know, Bomb Battlefield all over again. You know, it's just like...
One thing I did love about it is when you talk to the parrot that like gives you hints.
Yeah.
He'll give you the hint and then tell you to not look it up. Like that's such a modern Nintendo thing to do, to not be like and don't, you know, it'd be like don't look at the end, or don't, you got to figure it out, it's a hint. It's like the modern day of being like you need to try it on a harder difficulty. It was just like don't look it up. It was like don't, basically like we can't say don't Google it, but don't do that.
Yeah. Well, and there are some not perfect moons in there. There are like the jump rope ones and the volleyball one. Those suck. But, you know, it's something to talk about is just how accessible the game is. Like, to beat it's not very hard at all to beat. Like, to get the moons required to beat it, and then, you know, the boss fight with Bowser's easy enough, right? But to, like, 100% it, some of those moons are dang hard. Like, you know, I still haven't beaten, like, the darker side of the moon. I can't remember what it's called. Dark side of the moon 2. Or the really long one, like, where you have to have 500 moons to do. Yeah. Just because of it's hard. Like, it tests, like, every bit of Mario abilities you have. Oh, yeah. So, I just can't say enough good things about it. It was the one game that kept me playing and kept me smiling and kept, you know, a lot like Zelda's. Like, I want to see what's over there, and I want to try this and I want to try that, and just so good. I agree, man. Honorable mentions, man. Did you even think of any? I didn't think of any. Also, because outside of the Switch, I didn't think there was too many like standout titles. Splatoon 2. If you play this first Splatoon, not a whole lot's changed. They've made some quality of life improvements. Other than that, it's still a really good game. If you didn't play it on the Wii U, I highly recommend picking it up. It's fast, fun, and colorful. Yeah. The other one would probably be South Park: Fractured Butthole. Yeah. That's such a fun name to say. But anyways, it feels like an episode of South Park. Like it, you know, obviously Stick of Truth, you know, did the same thing. Yeah. But they've changed the combat up. This is more superhero themed. Like there's some fun jabs at Marvel and DC. And nice. It just fits in so well with the universe, and it like where Stick of Truth did kind of like have the look and feel. This one really like nailed the look and feel and the writing of it. And like if you're a big South Park fan, you'll absolutely love it. Nice. So, anyways. Well, cool, man. I'm glad I got to interview you with all this stuff. So, it's your show, buddy. Take us home. All right. Well, I want to say again, thank you for watching. You can find out all of our updates there at the Facebook. At the Facebook, you know. Facebook.com/quartercows. We're also... You're probably watching this on YouTube. So, you know, give us a subscribe. We're still working towards that 100 subscribers so we can get that custom URL. Also, maybe you might see us playing some of our favorite games on twitch.tv/quartercows. Other than that, you know, let us know what your favorite opinions games are. Yeah, your opinions. You know... How trash was my list? You know, let me know what your favorite games of 2017 were. You know, which ones did we miss out? Which ones did I miss out on? You know, obviously I regret not playing Cuphead. Game looks so good. Anyways, no, but let us know down there. Give us a like if you liked it. That would also really help us out. So that wraps it up for this episode of August Omega. Thank you for leading me through this episode. Yeah. Anyways, bye bye.